So let's get into the details a little bit, though, Ross. It's not as simple as there's millions of channels and millions of views. A lot of interesting things have been happening on Twitch that have changed the dynamics of Twitch over time, including the types of games that are being streamed and the insertion of politics, which skyrocketed just chatting as a category on Twitch to the #1 category, dwarfing everything else. We did an episode on this yesterday, dwarfing everything else on Twitch. Politics has never been a bigger part of the global conversation, especially with the election that just happened and Donald Trump taking every news headline there is. So how is this going to impact Twitch and Twitch's growth in the future? How do you see this changing potentially the culture of Twitch? Let me throw that over to you. Just give us a rant on what you think is going to happen with politics on Twitch, because it is currently dominating the platform.
Future in Twitch, there's just not going to be a way around it. However, there are not too many people out there like AOC, even politicians, no matter who they are, that can pull in the kind of audience like she can. She's a pop culture icon right now. So she has a huge advantage when trying to pull in an audience, especially the younger audience who's already established in watching live streams and being interested in live streaming video games. So she kind of fits right into that mold perfectly. I don't know if there are a lot of other politicians that can. However, that's current politicians. Every year we see a new politician or politicians arise that, you know, young phenoms. Doesn't even matter from where. It doesn't even matter from what party. But we see these rise on the occasion. And I think that a lot of these politicians, upcoming especially, and probably even a lot of the older politicians who are not familiar with this, I do think there is going to be a scenario where live streaming, whether it's just playing Among Us or whether it's actually just chatting, I do see a lot of these platforms that are currently more or less being used for streaming video games. They are going to become a talking platform. They're almost going to I don't want to say become its own news channel, because you're going to have such a variety to choose from. But just chatting, I can absolutely see a situation where it almost becomes like a programmed TV, where you know what time your politicians are going to be on there talking or playing games and whatnot. And it's going to be an interesting dynamic to see how that evolves over the, you know, the next 4, 8, 10 plus years. But I absolutely see a situation where AOC kind of started this off, but politicians 100% are going to start incorporating Twitch, Facebook gaming, YouTube. They're going to start incorporating all this into their strategy to reach young voters, because it is a tremendous way, as we've seen from this past election, as we've seen from the quote unquote damage, and I mean good damage, that AOC did by getting people to register to vote. It's phenomenal. And so it's going to have its place. Politics is going to have its place in live streaming in Twitch. Now, how much is that going to diminish now that the elections are kind of over? Is it going to be like an every 2-year thing when they have, the Senate races in 2 years and Congress races, or an every 4-year thing? I don't know. That remains to be seen. But just by watching the impact of, look at this, she had 5 million viewers, and this was like her first or second stream, maybe. That's crazy amount of reach. And by the way, you don't have to pay advertising to get that. In order to get on the airways or get on your television screens, you're funneling all kinds of marketing money in there. This is free public reach for politicians. Honestly, at this point, and you all tell me if I'm wrong, if politicians are not going to start incorporating means like this into their political strategy and campaign strategies, it's stupid. You're literally just you're just handing other people money and live viewers. It makes no sense. You're going to have to, politics is going to have to evolve into including things like this. Am I right?
I agree. So I think that AOC is way ahead of the curve here, and we need to see conservative, Democrat, people from all parties playing games on platforms like Twitch and live streaming if they want to stay relevant moving forward. And so, is this a part of a larger trend? I think it is. I absolutely think it is. I think they were motivated by the election, but the results here are insane. There's 5.5 million views on this. All she had to do was play video games for a couple hours and talk with people and get their political message out.